Yo, what's up? It's your boy Splendid Gaming EGW, and today we are back with another episode of Duelist Sunset. Today we are running what I call the ultimate troll deck. We call it Virus Smoke. Yes, aka God's Plan. Everything in this deck is to sacrifice my opponent's monsters. We really don't go on the offensive much, but when we do, it's usually gain. We put Grand Maju in here as a saving grace, because sometimes it could get dicey. But for the most part, we just trying to get rid of everything our opponent would play or could play. You did. We got Layer Darkness, we got Literally Lady Elements, but don't forget to like, subscribe. We'll be back with more. Let's get into this deck profile real quick. So first things first, we got Battle Fader, because like I said, we really don't play a lot of monsters. He's to protect our life points. Gotta have Battle Fader. Then we got Yugioh the Cubic Seed. Pretty much he cannot be destroyed by battle. And then if my opponent monster attacks him, I can put him in the spell and trap zone and give my opponent monster a counter. And the counter pretty much negates their effects and they can't attack. And he can come back from the spell and trap zone on my turn. So he is the ultimate defense of the deck. When paired with the trap card Cubic Ascension, he is the ultimate defense that nobody ever sees coming. But gotta love Yugioh. Then, of course, we have 3 Grand Majus. If you're not familiar with Grand Maju, pretty much for every card that's banished, he gains 400 attack. So we got him at 3. We really try to get Obelisk, but, Grand Maju is here if we can't get Obelisk, because we gotta protect our life points at some point. Then we got Lilith Lady Element. If she's normal summon, her attack becomes 1,000, and she has a quick effect where I contribute 1 dark monster to reveal 3 normal traps in my deck, and my opponent randomly chooses one for me to select. So all my traps in here are normals. So pretty much I can search whatever I want. Then we have Araya the Wicked Warden. I need to run him at 3. Only have him at 2, but he pretty much, I can discard him from hand to add Layer of Darkness, and that's the key to this deck, to tribute everything. And then as well, if he's summoned while I have Layer of Darkness, I can just tribute my opponent's monster being a dark monster to draw 1 card, because I really don't have any monsters with 2,000 or more defense, with the exception of Gizmic Orochi, but we're going to get to him in a second. And yeah, Wicked Araya, I definitely recommend that you guys run him at 3, just because, sometimes it's hard to get that Layer of Darkness. Reactive Slime, we got him at 1. If he's normal, I can get 2 slime tokens, and then during the battle phase, I can tribute him to add 1 Metal Reflex Slime for my hand or deck and set it, and I can activate it the same turn. So pretty much Metal Reflex Slime is going to get us our Egyptian God Slime, or our Slime Token is going to get us Obelisk. Gizmic Orochi, this guy is very clutch. We're only running him at 1 because this is a 60 card deck, but pretty much you can banish 8 cards from the top of your deck if this card's in your hand or graveyard to special him out, and you can banish 3 cards from your extra deck to target 1 face-up monster and destroy it, but you can only use 1 of each effect per turn. Very clutch if you're trying to get that Grand Maju. I have some clips where he actually helped me draw into the Grand Maju. Then we got Obelisk the Tormentor at 2, because we don't want to banish him, we really want him. We really want to try to summon him, because it's always great to get Obelisk on the field. And that's all the monsters. Then we got Card of Demise at 1. Card lets you draw until you have 3 cards. My opponent takes no damage, and at the end of turn I gotta get rid of my hand. It's costly for sure, but I mean, it helps us draw. Allure of Darkness, I get to draw 2 cards, then I have to banish 1 dark monster from my hand, and if I don't have any, I have to send my entire hand to the graveyard. We got Fang of Craterus at 2. He's in here for Crush Card Virus, so we can make Doom Virus Dragon, because he is a very boss monster that will really wreck any of your opponent's deck. We got Pot of Desires at 2. This banishes 10 cards from the top of our deck to draw 2 cards. That's why this is a 60 card deck. We don't mind getting rid of some cards to try to get the win. But yeah, and as well, that's just more fuel for Grand Maju if you didn't banish Grand Maju. Layer Darkness at 3. This is the meat and potatoes, the ultimate like dressing for the plate. Like turns everything on the field into dark. And then if I would tribute one of my dark monsters, I can tribute my opponent's dark monster. So that sets up my super polys, that sets up all my viruses, because like I said, all my monsters are weak as shit. But I get to use Layer Darkness, and I could use Full Force Virus because, you know, they got a monster with high ass defense, or Grave Grinning Virus because they got a 3000 beat stick on the field. But yeah, we got Super Poly at 2. Gotta have it at 2. You never know what people are doing. Gotta stay ready so you don't gotta get ready. We got Mass Change 2 at 1. Discard 1 card and target 1 face-up monster I control that has a level, and special summon 1 masked hero. We only go for Dark Law because we want to make sure they can have nothing in their graveyard. Like, we don't, you know, this is the deck to really get in people's heads, bro. Like, make people rage quit. Soul Crossing, recommend you run this at 3 because this is a quick play. During the main phase, immediately after this effect resolves, tribute summon 1 Divine Beast monster. And yeah, if your opponent has like 3 monsters on the field and you set that on your first turn, like you can boom, pop out Obelisk right there on them on their turn, and they can't do nothing. But until the end of the next turn, you can only activate 1 card or effect, not including the effects of the Divine Beast. So that's cool. And then that's all for spell cards. Trap cards, we got Crush Card Virus at 1. I contribute 1 dark monster with 1000 or less attack. My opponent takes no damage, but I get to destroy all monsters they control or in their hand with 1500 or more. And then they get to choose to destroy 3 monsters with 1500 from their deck. Even exchange. But we also get a lot of tributes for that off of Layer of Darkness as well, because it gives us tokens that's 1000 attack. Beautiful. Jar Agree at 3. Y'all know the vibes. Draw 1. Secret Barrel. Inflict 200 damage to my opponent for each card in their hand and what they control. Because yeah, if they got a handful of bricks and their field is full with cubic counters, yeah, just Secret Barrel them. Get them out of there. Deck Devastation Virus. I tribute 1 dark monster with 2000 or more attack, and I destroy all cards my opponent controls or in their hand with 1500 or lower, and every card that they draw for their next 3 turns. Booyah. Eradicated Epidemic Virus. I tribute 1 dark monster with 2500 or more attack. I get to choose between spells and traps. All those that I declare that my opponent has in their hand or that they control is destroyed, and same for the next 3 turns that they draw a card. Booyah. Side effects. Your opponent draws 1 to 3 cards, then you gain 2000 life points for each card that they drew. And usually we be milled somebody's deck out, so we're trying to force them to draw and give us life points. Kind of evil if you ask me, but that's why it's called side effects. Running viruses. Then we got Full Force Virus. This one breaks a lot of decks. So you tribute 1 dark monster with 2000 or more defense, and then I destroy all monsters my opponent controls or in their hand with 1500 or less defense, and the same for the next 3 turns every time they draw a card. Metaverse at 1. That's to get us our Layer of Darkness. Grave Grinning Virus. We put this one in here at 2. I tribute 1 monster with 3000 or less attack, and my opponent destroys 1 card for every 500 attacks of that monster. And if I control the monster with 2000 or more attack, for the next 3 turns, every time they draw, I get to see, and if it's a monster, we destroy it. So that is like the ultimate virus right there. And then we have Trap Trick. I get to banish 1 normal trap to set 1 trap with the same name, and I can only activate 1 trap this turn, so that's cool. Cubic Ascension. This is the ultimate savior of the deck. So if my opponent attacks me, you know, I get the special out of V-John Seed, and they have to attack the V-John Seed. And then if my life points are at least 2000, my opponent has more than 2000 life points to me, I get the special out 1 V-John Seed. And if I had no monsters, when I summon that 1, I get to summon out 3. So that John's lit. Then we got Metal Reflex Slime. Pretty much he's a Aqua 3000 defense, aka Egyptian God Slime. That's really what he's for. He's there to protect our life points and then turn into Egyptian God Slime. Egyptian God Slime. Then we got Predaplant Anaconda. Pretty much, since everything's going to be dark, we're going to link in the Anaconda, and we all got Super Poly. And, since I have Predaplant as my material, I'm going to try to go into the Predaplant monster. So I got Greedy Venom Fusion because I like the Prismatic. I got Predaplant Triffle Overtum, Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, and Predaplant Chimera Felicia. I don't know how to say those names. But yeah, those are all here for when I get link into Predaplant Anaconda. We got Masked Hero Dark Law. He is here when we get our Mask Change number 2. And if my opponent, all cards get banished, and if they add a card from their hand, except by drawing it, I get to banish one random card from their hand. And then Doom Virus Dragon. If he's summoned, I get to destroy all monsters that my opponent controls or in the hand with 1,500 or more, and for 3 turns after that's activated. Now the thing with the viruses, they can still add those cards, but as far as drawing them, that shit's dead. So this is Virus Smoke. Thank y'all for watching Duel of Sunset. We'll be back with more. You did. Thank you.